Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever wished to understand what someone is truly thinking without them saying a single word? Imagine being able to sense their emotions, intentions, and even their next move. Reading people's minds isn't about magic, it's about understanding human behavior, body language, and emotional signals. Today, I will share practical ways to read people's minds in daily life. First, observe body language. Our bodies often speak louder than our words. Crossed arms might signal defensiveness, leaning forward may show interest, and fidgeting can reveal nervousness. Second, pay attention to facial expressions. The face is like a window to emotions, a micro-expression. A quick flash of anger or surprise can tell you exactly how someone feels, even if they try to hide it. Third, listen to tone and pace of voice. Words may lie, but tone rarely does. A shaky voice might indicate anxiety, while a sudden change in pitch may reflect excitement or stress. Fourth, notice eye movements. Someone avoiding eye contact could be hiding discomfort, while dilated pupils often signal interest or attraction. Fifth, analyze gestures and hand movements. When people touch their face or neck frequently, it can show nervousness. Open palms, on the other hand, often signal honesty. Sixth, learn to observe personal space. People who step closer usually feel comfortable with you, while stepping back may indicate they are cautious or defensive. Seventh, identify patterns in behavior. One single action may not reveal much, but consistent patterns can uncover someone's real thoughts and feelings. Eighth, listen more than you speak. By letting others talk, they reveal far more than you might expect. A good listener can detect hesitation, excitement, or hidden emotions easily. Ninth, use mirroring. Subtly mirroring someone's body language can build trust, and their reaction often reveals how connected or comfortable they feel with you. 10th, trust your intuition. Your subconscious mind picks up signals faster than you realize. If you sense something feels off, it usually is. 11th, observe inconsistencies. When words and actions don't align, believe the actions. They reveal the truth of what's really on someone's mind. In conclusion, reading minds isn't about supernatural powers. It's about observation, empathy, and understanding human behavior. The more you practice these skills, the better you will be at sensing emotions, detecting unspoken truths, and connecting deeply with others. Body language is one of the most powerful ways to understand what a person is really thinking, because our bodies often speak what our mouths try to hide. Every movement, posture, and gesture carries meaning. When you walk into a room, notice how people are standing or sitting. Are their shoulders relaxed, or are they stiff and tense? A relaxed posture often signals comfort and confidence, while stiffness may reveal stress or discomfort. Pay close attention to the arms and legs. Crossed arms can indicate defensiveness, resistance, or a desire to create a barrier between themselves and the outside world. Meanwhile, open arms and a forward, leaning posture can show interest and engagement. Legs can reveal truths as well. Pointed feet toward the eggs. It might indicate someone is mentally ready to leave a conversation, even if they're smiling politely. Fidgeting is another critical sign. When someone repeatedly taps their fingers, plays with objects, or shifts in their seat, it could indicate nervousness or impatience. On the other hand, steady and calm movements usually reflect confidence or comfort in the situation. Even the way someone walks tells a story. Quick, Sharp movements can reveal determination or anxiety, while slow, dragging steps may reflect fatigue or sadness. By learning to read these subtle cues, you can often sense how someone feels before they ever speak a word. The face is often described as the mirror of the mind. Every small movement of the eyebrows, eyes, mouth, and forehead communicates unspoken emotions. Even when someone tries to remain neutral, the face leaks tiny signals known as micro-expressions, brief flashes of true feelings that last only a fraction of a second. Learning to notice them can make you feel like you are reading someone's thoughts. Start with the eyes because they reveal the deepest emotions. Wide eyes often indicate surprise or fear, while narrowed eyes can reflect suspicion or anger. A lack of eye contact might show discomfort, guilt, or disinterest, while steady, relaxed eye contact usually signals honesty and confidence. Next, study the mouth and lips. A genuine smile is easy to spot because it engages the eyes and creates natural wrinkles around them, unlike a forced smile that only lifts the corners of the mouth. Pressed or tightened lips may reveal someone is holding back anger, stress, or a secret thought they don't want to express. Slight lip biting can indicate nervousness or hesitation, while parted lips might suggest shock, interest, or curiosity. Don't forget the eyebrows and forehead. Raised eyebrows can indicate surprise or disbelief, while furrowed brows often reflect confusion, tension, or worry. Even a subtle twitch of the eyebrows can expose doubt or hesitation. Finally, consider micro-reactions. A flash of anger, a flicker of sadness, or a hint of joy can appear for less than a second before the person consciously masks it. Observing these split-second cues can help you understand what someone truly feels, even when their words are carefully chosen to hide it. While words communicate information, the voice communicates emotion. The tone, pitch, speed, and rhythm of a person's voice often reveal far more than the sentences they speak. If you want to read someone's mind, train your ears to catch the music behind their words. Start by noticing tone variations. A steady, calm tone usually reflects confidence or comfort, while a trembling or shaky tone might signal fear, anxiety, or hesitation. A sharp or high-pitched tone may indicate excitement, surprise, or even irritation, whereas a lower, quieter tone often reveals sadness, introspection, or lack of energy. The speed of speech also speaks volumes. People who are nervous, guilty, or hiding something often speak faster than usual, as if rushing to move past the moment. On the other hand, slow, deliberate speech can indicate thoughtfulness, hesitation, or sometimes a lack of interest. Pauses are equally important. Frequent pauses can reveal uncertainty or internal conflict, while sudden silence can mean the person is carefully choosing words to mask their true thoughts. Pay attention to volume and emphasis. A sudden rise in volume can indicate emotional intensity, anger, frustration, or excitement, while a soft, lowered voice might show vulnerability, fear, or a desire for privacy. Notice the words a person emphasizes or drags out. These subtle shifts often point to what they are really feeling. Additionally, inconsistencies between words and tone are crucial. A person might say, "I'm fine," but if their voice cracks or sounds distant, their tone exposes the truth behind the words. People rarely control their voice as effectively as their language. making tone a reliable guide to hidden emotions and unspoken thoughts. The eyes are often called the windows to the soul, and for a good reason. They reveal emotions, intentions, and even hidden thoughts without a single word. Learning to interpret eye movements can help you understand what someone is truly thinking, even if they are trying to keep it private. Start by observing eye contact. When someone maintains steady, natural eye contact, it usually signals confidence, sincerity, or comfort with the conversation. On the other hand, avoiding eye contact can reflect nervousness, guilt, shyness, or a desire to hide the truth. But it is essential to read this in context. Some people avoid eye contact simply because they are introverted or culturally reserved. Rapid blinking is another subtle cue that can signal emotional stress or discomfort. A person might blink more often when they are anxious, lying, or feeling pressured. Conversely, long, focused gazes often show interest, curiosity, or engagement. Notice side glances and darting eyes. When someone frequently looks to the sides, they might be searching for an escape, thinking hard, or feeling suspicious. Quick eye shifts can reveal insecurity or the desire to avoid confrontation. One fascinating detail is how pupil dilation reflects emotional intensity. Pupils naturally dilate when a person is interested, excited, or emotionally stimulated, and they contract when experiencing fear, anger, or disapproval. These small, involuntary reactions can expose what words may try to hide. Even the direction of eye movement can provide insight. Some people unconsciously look upward when recalling memories or thinking creatively, while looking downward may suggest they are reflecting on emotions or feeling uncomfortable. Side-to-side movement might indicate they are constructing a response or even trying to fabricate a story. When you combine these observations, eye contact, blinking, side glances, pupil changes, and movement patterns, you begin to see the silent conversation happening behind someone's words. The eyes rarely lie, and when you learn to read them, you can sense the feelings and thoughts people often leave unspoken. Our hands often reveal what our minds are thinking, even when our words do not. Gestures are a powerful form of nonverbal communication, and they can expose emotions, attitudes, and hidden intentions. While someone might control their facial expressions or tone of voice, their hands often act subconsciously, sending out signals that are easy to notice once you start paying attention. Start by observing open versus closed gestures. Open palms, visible hands, and relaxed fingers often signal honesty, confidence, and a willingness to engage. This is why people naturally show their palms when they are being truthful or when they want to connect. On the other hand, clenched fists, hidden hands in pockets, or crossed arms with tucked hands often indicate defensiveness, tension, or an attempt to protect oneself. Fidgeting is another clear indicator of internal emotions. People who feel nervous or uncertain often play with rings, touch their fingers, tap on a table, or adjust their sleeves. This restless movement reflects anxiety, impatience, or discomfort. In contrast, controlled and purposeful gestures, like slow hand movements to emphasize a point, reflect confidence and selfish assurance. Watch for illustrative gestures as well. When people are genuinely engaged or passionate, they often use their hands to paint pictures in the air, moving naturally with their words. But if gestures become stiff, forced, or exaggerated, It can be a sign that they are overcompensating, nervous, or trying to appear more confident than they feel. Even self-touch gestures have meaning. Touching the face, rubbing the neck, or playing with hair often indicates nervousness, insecurity, or deep thinking. Sometimes people cover their mouth briefly while speaking when they are holding back the truth or uncertain about what they are saying. By learning to read hand movements and gestures alongside posture and facial expressions, you unlock a powerful layer of understanding. Hands rarely lie, and the small signals they send can give you insight into what a person is thinking or feeling long before they speak. Personal space, also known as proxemics, is one of the most revealing aspects of human interaction, yet it is often overlooked. The physical distance someone maintains from you or others can communicate their emotions, comfort level, and intentions without a single word. People instinctively adjust their space based on how they feel, and by observing this, you can gain deep insight into their mindset. Start by noticing how close someone allows you to be. If a person moves closer without hesitation, it often reflects comfort, trust, and openness. They feel safe in your presence and are willing to share a more personal connection. In contrast, if someone frequently steps back, leans away, or creates barriers with objects like a bag or crossed arms, it can indicate caution, discomfort, or a desire to maintain emotional distance. The context matters greatly. In a casual, friendly setting, people tend to allow a smaller personal space, which signals familiarity and comfort. However, in a professional or unfamiliar environment, most individuals keep a larger distance to maintain boundaries. When someone suddenly changes the usual distance, see them moving in closer or stepping back, it often signals a shift in their emotional state. Pay attention to territorial behavior as well. People often use their surroundings to mark their comfort zone. Placing a cup, phone, or notebook between themselves and others can act as a subtle shield, reflecting defensiveness or uncertainty. Conversely, moving objects aside or leaning into open space shows comfort and engagement. Even angle and posture matter. Someone who positions their body toward you while maintaining a close but relaxed distance is likely open and interested. If they angle away or create diagonal space, they may be signaling hesitation or a lack of trust. By tuning into these invisible boundaries, you can sense a person's feelings without them speaking a word. Personal space is like an unspoken language, and once you learn to read it, it reveals emotions and intentions that people may never verbally express. One of the most reliable ways to read someone's mind is by observing consistent patterns in their behavior over time. A single action or reaction might not reveal much because anyone can have an off day or an unusual moment. However, when the same gestures, habits, and emotional responses appear repeatedly in similar situations, they form a behavioral pattern that exposes a person's true personality, preferences, and state of mind. Start by paying attention to how they react in familiar scenarios. For example, some people always become quiet when they are upset, while others might start fidgeting, pacing, or raising their voice. When you know someone's usual response, you can immediately notice if their behavior suddenly changes, which often signals that something is bothering them internally. Patterns are also evident in speech and communication style. A person who constantly avoids direct answers or changes the topic might be uncomfortable or hiding something. Someone who repeatedly interrupts or dominates a conversation often seeks control or attention. Over time, recognizing these tendencies allows you to predict their feelings and reactions before they even speak. Habits in body language also form patterns. A colleague who taps their foot whenever stressed, or a friend who looks down whenever they are nervous, reveals consistent emotional cues. By combining these observations with other nonverbal signals, you can piece together the underlying thoughts and emotions they may not verbalize. It's also important to watch for emotional cycles. Some people exhibit recurring moods or behaviors at specific times or in certain environments. For instance, they might become defensive around authority figures, overly cheerful in social settings, or distant during stressful periods. Recognizing these repeated cycles allows you to anticipate their mindset and navigate interactions more effectively. By learning to spot and connect these patterns, you develop a sharper intuition. Over time, it will feel as though you are reading the person's mind, not because you are guessing, but because their consistent behaviors reveal the silent story of their thoughts and emotions. One of the most powerful yet underestimated skills in reading people's minds is the art of listening. Most people are so focused on what they want to say next that they miss the subtle signals hidden in the words, pauses, and tone of the person speaking. When you choose to speak less and listen actively, you give the other person space to reveal their thoughts, emotions, and even secrets without realizing it. Active listening is not just hearing the words, it's paying attention to how they are said. Notice the pauses, hesitations, and changes in rhythm. When someone takes a long pause before answering, it could indicate that they are carefully choosing their words, perhaps hiding a deeper truth or processing their feelings. Fast, rushed replies might reveal nervousness, excitement, or anxiety. Pay attention to choice of words as well. People often unconsciously reveal their priorities, fears, or emotional state through the phrases they repeat. For example, someone who keeps saying, "I don't want to be blamed," may be feeling insecure or worried about judgment. By focusing on recurring themes or emotionally charged words, you can glimpse what is truly occupying their mind. Listening also involves reading the silence. What someone avoids saying can sometimes be louder than their actual words. A sudden change in topic, a refusal to answer, or a subtle sigh before responding can speak volumes about their inner thoughts. Another critical aspect of listening is observing emotional undercurrents. When a person talks about a neutral topic, but their voice shakes, or their expression changes, it signals there's an emotion connected to what they're saying. By staying quiet and maintaining gentle eye contact, you encourage them to share more, revealing thoughts they might not have initially intended to express. Finally, remember that people love to be heard, and when they feel listened to, they open up naturally. The more comfortable someone feels talking around you, the easier it becomes to detect the subtle truths behind their words. In essence, listening deeply allows you to uncover the emotions and thoughts that lie beneath the surface of casual conversation. Mirroring is a subtle yet highly effective psychological technique that can help you connect with others and read their minds more accurately. Mirroring happens when you reflect a person's body language, tone, or gestures in a natural, non-obvious way. When done correctly, it creates an unconscious feeling of trust and understanding, allowing the other person to relax and reveal more of their true self. Start with body posture. If the person is leaning slightly forward with open arms, you can subtly adopt a similar position after a short delay. This signals that you are in sync with them, and they will often feel more comfortable continuing to express themselves. If they sit back and cross their legs, gently mirroring that posture shows that you respect their pace and comfort zone. Gestures are another important part of mirroring. For example, if someone uses their hands while speaking, allowing your own hands to move in a similar rhythm, without exaggeration, can make the interaction feel more harmonious. People instinctively trust those who appear to reflect their energy because it creates a sense of similarity and understanding. Tone of voice and speaking pace can also be mirrored. If a person speaks softly and slowly, lowering your own tone and slowing down your speech helps build comfort and rapport. On the other hand, if they are enthusiastic and animated, matching a slightly more energetic tone allows them to feel that you are on their wavelength. When people feel mirrored, they often drop their guard, and this is when you begin to notice unspoken truths. They start sharing more, their facial expressions become more genuine, and their emotional cues are easier to read. This is because mirroring activates a sense of mutual connection that makes them feel understood, even without words. A critical point, however, is subtlety. Obvious imitation can feel mocking or uncomfortable, breaking the connection. True mirroring is about creating a natural rhythm of interaction, allowing their behavior to guide yours just enough to create harmony without forcing it. When done right, mirroring not only strengthens connection, but also opens a window into their emotions and intentions, making mind reading almost effortless. While observing body language, gestures, tone, and patterns is essential, one of the most powerful tools for reading people's minds is your own intuition. Intuition is that quiet inner voice, the sudden feeling or gut instinct that tells you something is off or perfectly right, even when you cannot immediately explain why. Our brains are constantly processing subtle cues from people around us, the flicker of an eye, a shift in posture, a small pause in speech. Most of this happens below the level of conscious awareness, which is why you sometimes just feel something about someone without knowing the exact reason. That feeling is your intuition, built from countless micro-observations your mind has pieced together. Trusting your intuition means learning to notice and honor these silent signals. For instance, if someone is smiling and nodding, but you feel a sense of discomfort or tension, your intuition might be detecting mismatched cues. Their words and body language aren't in harmony. Similarly, if a person seems trustworthy and genuine without any obvious reason, your subconscious may be picking up on consistent, positive nonverbal signals. Developing intuition also comes with experience and observation. The more you practice reading people, watching expressions, listening deeply, and noticing patterns, the sharper your instinct becomes. Over time, you'll be able to sense unease, detect insincerity, or recognize genuine enthusiasm almost instantly. It's important, however, to differentiate intuition from assumption. Intuition is a subtle nudge backed by subconscious observation, while assumptions are quick judgments without evidence. True intuition feels calm, clear, and persistent. It often comes as a quiet certainty rather than a loud opinion. By trusting your intuition, you combine all the signals your conscious and subconscious mind gathers, allowing you to perceive the emotions and thoughts that people might never openly express. One of the most revealing aspects of understanding someone's true thoughts and feelings is noticing when their words and actions do not match. People can carefully choose their sentences to hide emotions, but their body, tone, and expressions often betray the truth. By paying attention to inconsistencies, you gain a clear window into the reality they might be trying to conceal. Start by comparing verbal and nonverbal communication. If someone says they are confident but keeps fidgeting, avoiding eye contact, or speaking in a shaky tone, the nonverbal signals reveal nervousness that the words try to cover up. Similarly, a person might claim they are not upset, yet their crossed arms, tight lips, and stiff posture send the opposite message. Look for emotional mismatches. A forced smile without warmth in the eyes often signals discomfort or dishonesty. A cheerful tone paired with a tense body could mean the person is masking stress. These subtle conflicts between appearance and reality are like clues that point directly to what is going on in someone's mind. Behavioral inconsistencies over time are also important. A person who is usually friendly and open but suddenly becomes withdrawn or defensive may be hiding worry, guilt, or frustration. Conversely, someone who is normally quiet but becomes unusually talkative may be overcompensating for nervousness. Spotting these shifts allows you to understand the emotional undercurrents that words alone cannot reveal. Inconsistencies can also show up in timing and reactions. If a person hesitates too long before answering a simple question, laughs at inappropriate times, or changes their story slightly with each retelling, these small contradictions can signal inner conflict or dishonesty. Often, the truth is found in the details that do not align. By training yourself to notice and connect these small contradictions, you learn to see the unspoken story behind someone's behavior. Observing inconsistencies is like reading between the lines of human interaction. It transforms scattered clues into a clear picture of what the person is really thinking and feeling. In the end, learning to read people's minds is not about magic or manipulation. It is about awareness and empathy. When you observe body language, notice gestures, listen deeply, and trust your intuition, you begin to understand the silent language that everyone speaks. This awareness allows you to build stronger connections, avoid misunderstandings, and respond to others with greater compassion. Remember, every person is telling a story without words. If you slow down, observe, and truly pay attention, you won't just hear their words, you will feel their thoughts. And when you can do that, you hold the key to understanding people in a way that transforms every relationship in your life. Thank you.